together what we think of the future. People from the audience will also ask later. The one thing that I learned when I first went to the village, what led to the right to information was a long history of understanding. It didn't happen in one night. I just didn't get up one day and said, oh, right to information. Nor did Chuni Singh, nor did Mohan Bar, nor did Nikhil, nor did Shankar, nor did Sushila get up one day and said, oh, we want right to information. It's a process you go through. So what was the first concern was the injustice, especially by the state and by government offices. Whenever you go to a government office, the first thing they say is that you're telling lies. They don't tell you directly. They may say it indirectly, but they always say you're telling lies. Ji, ye sahi nahi hai, they'd say in Rajasthan. Ye galat hai aapka. And they would say there are two versions of the truth. It's your version of the truth. I used to wonder, how can there be two versions of the truth? The truth is one. There can be two sets of facts. But even that is impossible. So it's slowly and gradually that the power of information became evident to us. But I'll trace some of the issues which made it evident to us. First of all, as I said before, listening to people. So whenever I went and sat, I'd had my lesson very strongly that day. So whenever I went and sat with women, I listened. And there's a huge political history to listening. Any great political philosopher, thinker, activist will say you have to listen to the people. Gandhiji went on this big yatra around India listening to people before he even designed the national movement. You have to listen to know what they want. So what did they all ask for? Poor women, very poor women would say, we want to live with dignity. They would say, हमें मजदूरी चाहिए, हमें आपकी दया नहीं चाहिए, हमें मजदूरी चाहिए, हमें काम चाहिए. And what would we say in Delhi? We say, oh, you know, they need handicrafts. They need to know how to embroider cloth. They need to know how to do sewing. Have sewing classes for them. Or they would say, give literacy. There were some standard solutions. Every activist who went into the village thought of 4 things. One was the toilet. My friend Aruna Roy says that every activist needed a toilet. So the first thing they thought of when they went to a village was a toilet. Everyone had to have a toilet because I need a toilet. The second thing was literacy, because we think literacy is everything. Literacy is very important. But the mind thinks without literacy. Knowledge exists without literacy. There's wisdom without literacy. Literacy is a very important tool. And so many of us literate people, what have we delivered? Very little. So when they had this huge literacy campaign in Ajmer district, there was this fantastic slogan on one of the walls. They used to say, "Is jile ka kya pehchan? Padha likha har insan." They had erased it and written, "Is jile ka kya pehchan? Upar chaddi, niche banyan." And when we went to them and said, "Ye kyun likha hai?" They said, "You don't run your primary schools where the children go in such large numbers. Teachers don't come there. They're eager to learn. And you are insisting that these tired people who come a day in the Cape must go and learn literacy, and you provide these oil lamps where none of us can see because we don't wear spectacles. तो हमारे ऊपर तो इतना जोर लगाते हो, इसलिए ऊपर चड्डी नीचे बनियान." But we don't listen to them. Still our schools are badly run. And of course there's a whole controversy about the kind of education that India is selling today. I won't go into it because it is not my business today. But I have an opinion on it. Then they said, what did we say? Oh, there's a lot of these terrible traditions we must finish. Child marriage must be finished. This, that, and the other. So we go there with an agenda. Arrest everyone who has child marriage. When I sat with Mangi, my friend, and I said, "Mangi, why do you get married when you're so young?" She said, "You know, you don't understand, Aruna. We don't get married now. The whole of the social structure will have to change. I won't get a son-in-law or a daughter-in-law unless I get my children married at a particular age. We are striving." She said, "My mother got married when she was 3, I got married when I was 10. My daughter will get married when she's 17. It's a process of change." Do you know, in Rajasthan, the real marriage is when we send the child to the in-laws' house. The marriage is like what you call an engagement. Anyway, I was trying to discuss this with her. I agreed a bit, didn't agree a bit, used to have quarrels. Then came professors from Ajmer, from Jaipur, to discuss with them, a group of women, about marriage. So they came. Mangi and Norati, Bila, my very progressive village friends from different communities, but largely Dalit were also there. So when the professor said, you shouldn't have this marriage early because it's harmful, you shouldn't do that, you shouldn't do that. So Mangi heard them very patiently. And then she said, how much have you studied? 13th class, 14th class, 15th class, which means MA, BA, and so on. We haven't gone to school at all. Chalo, we are all crazy people, we are illiterate people, we don't know anything. We get them married very early. But you all know the law. You all know about dowry. She said, is there any amongst you who has either not received or not given dowry? There was dead silence. Then she said, listen, you guys have everything. आपके पास सब कुछ है. धन है, पढ़ाई है, सब कुछ है. If you don't change, how do you expect us to change? So you can't have dowry niti. You can't say to us that you must not have child marriage and practice dowry where you are. So the most important thing that is required for bringing about change is that we must be, now that slogan all over the airports, we must be the change we want to see. I don't know the exact quotation. Something like that. So one thing that urban India has forgotten in going into rural area, that we think that we are so fully perfect in our ethics, in our perception, that we need to do that. Since all learning happens between equals, the right to information, the concept of right to information was born when there was humility to understand that people wanted something which we couldn't give them. And where is the nerve center of all this? Didn't come in a day, as I said. I remember when I went in 1975 to this village called Tilonia, and we started a project, because first I worked with an NGO, a development NGO, very good one, but an NGO. We started a project for schooling, getting the night school children, getting children to the night school when they're working during the day, and going and improving the level of schooling in the day school. And we used to pay them 600 or 400 rupees, I forget, a salary. And I thought it was too little, but that's what the project came. A very famous woman called Mrs. Vijaya Mule used to be director of CET, Center for Educational Technology. She came. She was a strong woman. I really admired her. She was one of those older women whom I thought no end of. Strong, outspoken, good looking, and I thought one day I'd like to be like her. Vijaya Mule came, and I said in front of all the teachers, why are you giving them such a low salary? You should raise their salary. One of the teachers said to me after that, I thought you were lying to me. Because everyone lies about budgets. They never tell you the truth. So I thought that you were asking for 1,000 rupees, pocketing 400 and giving us 600. Then we realized in what is now called the Barefoot College, which is called Social Work and Research Center before, that every budget must be pasted on the wall of the institution. Every worker must know how much money comes and how much money is spent, because there is no such thing as trust where money is concerned. Same relationship exists raised to the nth degree with the government. You know all the questions they ask. ऊपर का तनख्वाह कितना है? नीचे का तनख्वाह कितना है? ऊपर का तनख्वाह is what you legitimately get. नीचे का तनख्वाह is what is under the table. कितना मिलता है? अरे कोई तो ईमानदार आदमी हो ही नहीं सकता. The assumption is that everybody is corrupt because there is no transparency. So this understanding also came to us. We went to the local BDO in Beam and said, can we have the BPL list? You know what the BPL is? Below poverty line list. Which is a published document. And she said to me, I'm giving it to you because you're a woman. But please bring it back at 7:30 in the morning. I told her, this is a published list. What's wrong with you? She said, no, because you see, if the SDM finds out, he'll be very angry with me because I won't give you the BPL list. And why wouldn't she give me the BPL list? Because in the below poverty line list, you have members of parliament, you have their kith and kin, you have senior civil servants or junior civil servants, their family, and not the poor. So how would they give it? It's dynamite. years ago, a young team of students went to Madhya Pradesh and the collector gave them the BPL list to verify. A couple of police stations got burnt by the people. They were so angry because of the corruption in the BPL list. So information became important. All kinds of information became important. What MKSs did